Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you streaming live. I love our get-togethers and I decided to do a twofer, and I have a question that I need you to answer, especially if you are a supporter of RFK Jr. And I asked this question in a video, which I'm going to show you right here. Let me share my screen. And this was a little concerning to me because I did a video yesterday called RFK Jr. supporters need to answer this question. And I actually had two questions, and I did not get an answer to either question from the supporters. And I'm going to share that question in just a moment. I encourage you, if this is a topic that is interesting to you and you are supporting RFK Jr., I call him Candidate Kennedy or Bobby Jr. or just Jr. as a nickname, then you really need to watch these videos that I did. So we're streaming right here live. Why can't people see the truth? This one, the RFK safety testing, I reply to your objections about the things that I said and showed you about Jr. And you're asking the same questions over and over. They're all answered in that video. And then this one, here we are, 17,000 views. And why does RFK want safer jabs? I bring you data and evidence and facts. And what happened is that I got attacked by a lot of people who didn't watch the videos and just wanted to continually say to me, number one, he's just saying that, Peggy. He's not in favor of anything safer. He's doing it so that he can get votes. It's a way to bridge the gap. It's because he's a politician. And I think that's really weird. It's a weird way of not being honest. And why not come right out with what you believe? I've been honest over the last 3 years. I have stood in truth. I have fought for it. I have made sacrifices, as many of you have. And now you're willing to capitulate and compromise. And not all of you. And I realize that there are many RFK supporters that may have just hopped on this live stream and they don't even know what the Healthy American is. And maybe they complied all this time. Maybe they got jabbed. So they don't have any issue whatsoever with me showing this information. A lovely Healthy American pointed that out to me and said, Peggy, probably a lot of these people got their kids to become pincushions and they like that, what Junior is talking about. So I could be totally off base. I thought that the supporters were ones that were in favor of getting rid of tyranny. We're in favor of complete non-intervention from the government requiring you to get a medical experiment or any kind of medical intervention. What's next? They're going to require you to get a shot for euthanasia? I mean, come on, where do we end this? They're going to require forced abortions? No, the government does not have the right to require you to undergo a medical intervention. I don't care how safe it is. So this is a sponsored video, and I'm going way off the point here. But the question I have is, how many children need to be harmed in order for these cocktails to be proven safe? Answer me in a comment below, if you would, while I bring you a message from the sponsor, and then we will get right into it. So we are going to, that's the website. I mean, that's the YouTube website where you can see all my videos. Be sure to click on live. Most of my videos are live. You can also click on videos to get the ones that are uploaded as premiere videos. But I try to come to my live streams here Monday through Friday. So here we go. Let's hop on over to noblegoldinvestments.com. Friends, I've been telling you about Noble Gold because I trust this company. They have been a sponsor of mine from the beginning. I've interviewed the CEO several times. It's the only gold company that I trust. And the US dollar has lost 85% of its value since the 1970s, when the dollar came off the gold standard, another horrible decision in our country's history. And the government seems bent on continuing this tradition. So from now until after the next elections, the government apparently can print as much money as it wants. And the last time they did that, inflation went up 9%, and you and I are feeling it in the pocketbook. So gold is the one asset that has proven to withstand inflation. You can invest in gold with Noble Gold Investments, and you could qualify for a 24-karat, 1/4 ounce gold standard coin for free. So go to noblegoldinvestments.com. I will have a link for you in the description box below. You can get all of your questions answered. Remember, there's always a risk of investment, and there's no guarantee of any kind. All right, friends, I am going to endeavor to look at the live stream. Sometimes it gets hidden from YouTube. Oh, it It is flying by, and I'm so grateful that you're here. A big shout out, would you please, to Rhonda and Valerie. I know you guys always give them that healthy American love. I am very grateful, and that here on this platform that my healthy American family is very savvy, sophisticated, discerning, supportive, sometimes snarky, but I have never seen you be belligerent, rude, any that kind of stuff. I actually really don't care for that. But we do have a lot of newcomers on board here that are not aware of the work that we've been doing for the last several years about standing for freedom. And when they see that I am doing a video talking about the truths that are coming out of the Kennedy platform, they got angry at me. And I know that because I got a lot of angry emails, and some from new people that had never been on board, some that had been on board for a long time, that said, Peggy, I trusted you. I always thought you were intelligent and discerning. Oh, so what happened? Suddenly I'm not intelligent and trustworthy and discerning because I played some videos for you from your hero? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. That is cognitive dissonance. I'm trying to save you from being hogwash. Now, if you agree that putting a condom on the rapist is the right thing to do, then by all means, let's go for the safety testing. But I see it barking up the wrong tree. And it is my duty. I am compelled to warn you of this danger so that you're not falling prey to the straw man fallacy, which I covered in previous videos. And apparently I'm going to be covering in additional videos, and I will cover it with my last God-given unobstructed breath until people understand that the bait and switch is happening. Friends, my only goal, my only drive is for you to see the truth. Fill in the blank with the number of people that are hogwashing us. People will say, Peggy, why don't you talk about this person and that person and this person? Well, I guess 365 days in the year, I'll have to do a different person each day, but people still don't get it. This is like my 4th or 5th video on this man, and I'm still getting pushback. And friends, some people haven't even watched the videos. I know that because they are objecting to responses. They are objecting to information that I already responded to. I already responded to the objections, such as, well, maybe that was an old video. Okay, I brought you newer videos. Well, maybe he didn't really mean what he said. Well, then why did he say it? Well, we should have safety. Okay, go get all the go get all the this is why these microphones are difficult for me, because I like to speak with my hands. Then let's pass a law that all of the rapists should have to wear a condom. I mean, it's safe, isn't it? I think you get my drift. So my question, and I have yet to see an answer from the supporters. All right. Somehow they've all flown the coop now that I've asked them to put their money where their beliefs are. And the simple question, we're not going to talk about, would you take the junior jab? That I coined that one. So once we have one that's safe and effective and has gone through all these rigorous tests and all of that, wouldn't it be something if he came out with one? And I'm going to do it. I am losing my voice this evening, but I will do a video for you tomorrow, I promise, where I revisit this. Really bothered me. All right, let me share my screen again. This really bothered me. Okay. This first video that started off all the hoopla and all of the hate mail and all of that. I can't believe I thought I knew you. You're so hateful and stupid and all that. Like, oh, okay. I guess I really don't know how to discern any longer. This was a video from 2019. And it's where he clearly says that I don't think we should be mandating, I don't know why I said it that way, mandating medical interventions for unwilling Americans unless we know precisely that cocktail is going to end up helping them rather than hurting them. Friends, this was 2019, prior to cooties. Why is he talking about unwilling Americans? He's suddenly not talking about children. He's talking about unwilling Americans. Does he have a crystal ball? Did he know that there would be unwilling Americans a few months from then, from October 21, 2019? That would not want to have a mandated medical intervention. Doesn't that strike anybody else as odd? I didn't catch that the first time around. I did catch it, but I didn't explore it as fully as I will for you tomorrow. This is just a little preview. Take a look at this, 2019, and they've got tape over their mouth. All right. This was not a discussion about freedom of speech. This was actually a debate on whether or not wind and solar should replace God's abiotic fuel, which is basically the blood of the earth. And it's inexhaustible, meaning it will never run out. But because it's so cheap and abundant, they want to get rid of it. And instead of mining the earth for oil, they want to mine the earth for lithium. Oh, that's a much better trade-off, isn't it? So anyhow, this whole thing is bizarre, and I'm going to cover it in a future video for you. But this is what set off all of the hoopla. And not only did he say that I am basically in favor of mandated medical interventions for unwilling Americans like you and me that have stood up for our rights all of this time. Then he goes on to say again and again that I am pro jab. And this is what he's saying. And he wants this medicine to undergo the same medical safety testing as other drugs. I take issue that he calls us unwilling Americans. I take issue that he calls these products medicine. And I take issue that he wants to experiment on innocent children. And many of these tests and those that led up to it involved unspeakable horrors to animals. And I'm not talking about sedated animals that were, petted and groomed and all of that in between all of the experiments. I will, for those who are interested, I will send you information on a Substack. And I've done that in the past as well. You can find a very detailed Substack about animal vivisection, the type of cruelty, unspeakable cruelty that is unnecessary, because there are other types of things that can be done in the name of science that don't require cruelty to animals. I've done many videos on that, including outing Elon Musk about it. Probably lost a lot of viewers then because that was another one of their heroes that I took down. Friends, like, I don't have any vested interest in any other human being. Let me put it this way. I don't have any interest in another human being being my hero or my savior. All right. That's not going to happen in this earthly realm. There are those that are more trustworthy than others. There are those that are more capable than others. There are those that are smarter than others. There are, as I say, more trustworthy. So when I find evidence of people speaking out of both sides of their mouth, I can't help but share it. So the question I had for all y'all, not all y'all here, but all y'all that flew the coop after I asked very specifically. Oh, and by the way, not in the live stream, but in the comment section, I am only interested in reading comments that answer the question. Here it is. How many children, I think everybody can understand that, how many children should be harmed, maimed, irreparably damaged, maybe even meet their demise in the name of these childhood safety tests that Junior is promoting and has been promoting for the last few years on his Children's Health Defense website. I'm not going to show it to you again. I already did that. Go back and watch the other videos, please. Let's move ahead and have this question answered. How many children? How many? What's the number? Give me a number. Give me a number. Give me how long these tests should go on, how many children should be harmed, and who should do this, because Granny Gates Foundation is one of the ones that does it. So will you trust Granny Gates to do this? So that's my question. It's the only question that I want answered. I actually don't want to have other comments on this video in the comment section. Live stream, you guys are having your chat there. But in the comment section, I don't want to hear people saying, you got it all wrong. You misread the guy. That's not what he stands for. Blah, blah, blah. I've answered that 1 million, at least maybe 5 million times, because I hear you and I've already responded to those objections, but you haven't responded to my question. That's why I call it the silence of the supporters. Now, my lovely folks here that are on the live stream, we're going to take a look as that is flying by. And okay, let's see. Who am I says they hide away when faced with the questions. And hopefully not all of them, but boy, oh boy, was I wrong about a lot of these Junior supporters. I actually thought that they were pro-freedom. I thought that, I guess they're not pro-life because he's, in favor of a mother having the right to do the child. He says it's a tragedy, and it is. So if it's so tragic, why not do something about it? I think that's interesting. Okay. Mainline Dems leaving the GOP. He's meant to be a populist choice. Okay, that's what one of our people say. Okay. Michael, I don't really give a hoot about what he says. And then there are some serious suspicious shenanigans surrounding, I'll just spell it out, POLIO. Oh, I'll have to do a video on that if I don't get a strike on this channel. You need to research what the parents were doing for teething back in the day, because it turns out that this numbing powder that they were using caused the body to go numb. And guess what? Then these children ended up in the iron lungs, and the new cocktails came out. And it was, when did the children get it? Around the age of 2, and around the time that the teeth were coming in. That's just a little tidbit for you to go down the rabbit hole on. All right. You can still find some of the ads. I can't recall the name of that product right now. Okay. Deborah wants to know, didn't that agency say that they were going to do testing on the Pure and the pin cushions, but never followed through? Well, that's something that would be very interesting. And those people already became pin cushions, and then there are those that aren't. But wouldn't you agree that there are so many variables in the meantime in terms of people's own lifestyle, their own history, their own health? I would find it very difficult, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. You've got 2 people. All right. One does the hokey pokey, and the other doesn't. All right. And the one that got and neither of them got sick. All right. You can't draw a conclusion that it was the hokey pokey that was the reason. All right. One person got the hokey pokey, the other didn't, and both got sick. Okay. What conclusion can you draw from that? They like to tell us that the one that got the hokey pokey, for the sniffles, got a much less severe case. Oh, it was a much less severe. Or how do you prove that? How do we have a crystal ball? That would have been worse. Maybe they wouldn't have gotten it at all if they hadn't have gotten the hokey pokey. All right, done the hokey pokey. So there's no way in my view, of proving it that way. I don't think there is any way of actually proving that, like I say, that it's safe. I don't believe in putting the condom on the rapist. That's not the answer. And I know it's a little crude, and I understand that I do have some family viewers and people of deep faith, but I've got to explain it in ways to these supporters of Junior so that they can understand it. Okay. Yeah. Wastewater sanitation causes health issues. Okay. There are great comments here. And I think most of you are on board with me, because I am certainly not seeing any answers to my question. I will hold out some hope that after the live stream is over and the comments start to come in the comment section over the next 24 hours or so, I'm going to monitor that. I usually monitor the comments on the videos for about 24 hours until I upload another one. And then it's virtually impossible for me to keep up on all of the comments, which is why I love the live streams. I definitely read all of the live chat. I love your comments, and there have been so many great insights that I've gotten from you, and I will continue to share those as the time goes on. So thank you to all of the healthy Americans, that are Junior supporters and questioning what he's saying. And then even those of you that are not courageous enough to answer that question, I'm going to be praying for you, because I know that your heart is not hardened. I know that you will be able to break through that cognitive dissonance and say, you know what, Peggy, I didn't want to believe you, and I didn't like what you were saying, and I was actually angry at you, and I didn't want to believe you, and I didn't want to trust you, and I thought you had a beef with this guy, and I didn't like that you were criticizing him, and I thought that you were, slandering him. But you can't slander a person if you're speaking the truth. But now I realize, after my emotions came down, I realized that I need to ask these questions as well. And I am going to hold his feet to the fire, and I am going to ask him, who exactly are going to carry out these tests? And this is critical thinking, my friends. When you start asking the questions, they don't want to answer them. Who's going to be conducting these tests? For how long? On how many children? Who is going to verify that the information is actually valid and accurate? Is Granny Gates and his foundation going to be involved in any of this? Does this require larger government, more government oversight? Are there going to be more regulatory committees? And how do we trust who's going to be on them? These are the questions that I would ask. And where is the money going to come from? Is somehow this going to enrich those big medical companies in a roundabout way because they'll get grants from the government to do these kinds of tests? It would be horrible to think, and I'm not saying this is the case, but it would be horrible to think that any of these politicians or any of these people that are calling for safety testing are somehow, I don't want to say that they're in bed with, because that wouldn't be right, but what else can you come up with? It would be horrible if that were ever determined, that somehow these big medical companies were actually going to benefit from this safety testing that they are all pushing. All right, friends, I do appreciate you. And I like to inject a little humor into my presentations because this is really heavy stuff. And my heart goes out to all of you that have experienced these sufferings from the cocktails. I find it reprehensible that Junior can say, I am pro cocktail, when he has heard and from thousands, probably tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of women, of parents, of moms. And I usually say moms because they were the ones that took the kids to become the pincushion, that have told him to his face, I mean, face to face, the damages that their children suffered. And he still says that he's fiercely pro this product. It's so troubling to me. I hope that together, and I don't even like to use that word, I hope that each of us independently and individually can make a difference by bringing these questions to the forefront, holding their feet to the fire, requiring an answer like I am doing on this video here. All right, friends, that's it for this evening. We had quite a marathon. Be sure to watch all of my other videos. I will have links for you below. Just go through the playlist. I have an RFK Jr. playlist now that you can look at if that makes it easier for you as well.